If you want to save on short flights domestically, fly your family to Europe, experience business class flights for as few points as possible, or fly in one of the best business class products in the sky, you're going to want to learn how to use British Airways. Today, we have step-by-step tutorials for how to use British Airways Avios for all of those use cases, so let's jump right in. So our first example is going to be how to use British Airways to save on American Airlines short-hop flights. So in this example, we're going to go from Miami over to Kingston, Jamaica, just one way, redeem miles, one passenger for now in economy. And we'll just search for something further out on the calendar next March. Click search. And so here in American Airlines, it's going to cost 10,000 miles plus about $50 in taxes and fees one way in main cabin. But let's say we don't have any American Airlines miles because Bilt is the only flexible transferable currency that will go over to American Airlines, but pretty much anything will go to British Airways. So we can go to BritishAirways.com, hover over book, click on book a flight with Avios. Then we're going to type in Miami to Kingston, Jamaica, and this was on March 6th over here. One way only for now, in economy for one adult, and let's see what our flight options are. And we see the same flights operated by American Airlines, and if we click on economy, over here it's only going to be 7,500 Avios plus the $50 in taxes and fees, versus over here it's going to be 10,000 plus the $50 in taxes and fees. Not every flight on American Airlines is going to have partner availability with British Airways. An easy way to tell which ones will is the ones that have green highlights. So here you pretty much have your pick of the entire month of March going from Miami over to Jamaica. And so we should see some more of this availability on the 8th, but it should not show up on the 9th because here we don't have any of this green highlighted saver space. So let's test out that hypothesis. Over on British Airways, we are going to change this. Instead of on the 6th, let's check the 8th. And here we do see that availability on American Airlines. Again, it's going to be 7,500 Avios plus $50, but I do not expect to see any on the 9th. The nice thing about American Airlines and starting here with your search is that it will show you the full calendar where there's not an easy way to do that with British Airways. So on the 9th, we probably won't find any availability because there's no safer space here. To test out that theory. And on the 9th, there is no availability, but maybe we'll find some on the 10th. And we do have that saver space on the 10th. So that's how you can tell what flights you might be able to book from American Airlines over to British Airways and save some points and miles that way. If you're just getting started with points and miles and you're already confused by that first example, make sure you check out our free course at geobreezetravel.com/free course. It'll take you from level 0 to your first points redemption, and it even has bonus lessons for how to get status with different airlines and hotels quickly, and a free hotel upgrade email template that you can use to get free upgrades and amenities at different hotels. Download the free course at geobreezetravel.com/free course, which you can find in the description box. So if using British Airways to save on short flights in and around the US is level 1, what's level 2? You can actually use Avios to fly over to Europe starting at 13,000 points. Here's the play. There are some sweet spots with British Airways that don't require you to search through American Airlines first. You can just search natively on British Airways' own website. So let's go over one of those options. So a really popular route to fly with British Airways or any type of Avios really is to fly over to Dublin because Aer Lingus, national carrier of Ireland, also operates within the Avios system. So let's say that you wanted to fly from Boston over to Dublin for St. Patrick's Day next March. We could do something similar where we search over here for economy in early March. Go ahead and get flights here. And it'll ask if you want to do stopovers or not. I would say continue without stopovers. If you choose the stopover, it is most likely going to route through London. You're going to have very high taxes and fees if you do that. So for this route, I would say do not get stopovers. Here it's going to be off-peak, which for most of the months other than the summer months for Ireland is going to be considered off-peak. And here we have the flight that we're looking for from Boston over Dublin. If you find a little shamrock, you know that's going to be Aer Lingus. It's non-stop, and they have seats in economy. It only costs 13,000 Avios plus $166 to fly this in economy. Availability with this route between Boston and Dublin there's a ton of them available. For economy, I clicked through most of the days in March and there was some kind of economy availability. Pretty difficult to find business class or premium economy, but you can fly this for 13,000 Avios and have your pick of dates. You don't have to search through American Airlines or any other calendar like that. I would just click around and try some different dates, and you should be able to find something if you're booking far enough ahead in the future. I would avoid this route where it routes through London because, first of all, that's just a little bit more inconvenient, and second, the taxes and fees are going to be higher, especially if you're doing something like business class, where this is $700 in taxes and fees and 95,000 Avios. So I would just try to find something like this where you are flying Aer Lingus from Boston over to Dublin. If you're liking these step-by-step tutorials so far, please be sure to let me know by clicking that like button and subscribing to the channel for even more strategies for how to make the most out of your points and miles. The great thing about British Airways is that you can transfer nearly all of the flexible points currencies over to your British Airways account. Amex, Chase, Capital One, and Bilt all transfer to British Airways almost instantly. If you're looking to earn more points with your next credit card sign-up, but you're not sure which card to get, we do offer free credit card consultations at geobreezetravel.com/consultations. We'll provide you with a personalized recommendation based on your particular goals, budget, and lifestyle. You can get the free consultation by going to geobreezetravel.com/consultations or by clicking on the link in the description box. What's the cheapest way to fly to Europe in business class? Well, my husband and I actually flew round trip to Spain for only 68,000 points total for 2 round-trip business class tickets booked with Iberia Airlines, which is also part of the Avios system. Granted, that was with a 50% off sale, but the regular price of 68,000 points for 1 round-trip business class to Europe is not bad at all. Here's how to make it happen. A popular route if you want to use Avios to fly in business class is with Iberia flying over to Madrid or other places in Spain and continuing on to other places in Europe from there. So to do this, you would make an account with Iberia and go to iberia.com. One of the most popular routes is JFK over to Madrid, so let's search for that. Next January, 1 passenger for now, paying with Avios, and click search. Actually, you want to select premium cabins, then click search. And here you will be able to fly from New York over to Madrid in business class for only 34,000 Avios per person one way. They have a handy monthly view of flights as well. You can see that pretty much all of these days in January you will be able to fly for 17,000 Avios in economy or 34,000 in business class. You have a couple of other airport options as well. New York is going to have the most availability, but you can find stuff from Boston as well. So they're going to also be from 34,000 Avios. Here's the monthly view, where you can see it's not available every day, just Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays is when they appear to operate this route. You could try this from Chicago. Again, 34,000 Avios to fly this, and it's a longer flight in Iberia business class for 8 hours. That's available pretty much every day. They will have some from the West Coast occasionally as well. It looks like from Los Angeles it's operated on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Here they don't have business class available, but it would be 21,000 in economy. And if you wanted to fly in business class, they have it on this day. It would be 42,500 to fly 11 hours in business class, which is not bad at all. If you are looking to book something like this on Iberia Airlines, you're not going to be booking it through British Airways the same way that we did with the American Airlines example or the Aer Lingus example. It is just booked directly through Iberia.com. There's a few different types of points you can transfer over to Iberia Avios. So you can use Amex, but that'll take a little bit of time to transfer over. So I would recommend using Chase or Bilt points, which transfer almost instantly. Versus if you are transferring over to British Airways, you can use Amex, Chase, Capital One, or Bilt, and almost all of them will transfer instantly. If you have Avios already with your British Airways account, you can move them to Iberia. To learn how to do that, I would just Google this frequent miler article, how to transfer Avios between British Airways, Qatar, Iberia, and Aer Lingus, because it can be a little bit confusing. The thing that you need to make sure you do with Iberia is you can't move points to or from Iberia within 90 days of joining the Iberia Plus program. So just make an account right now, because if one day in the future you decide to do a booking like this, you need to have your account aged for 90 days before you start transferring points in. So pause this video, go make an Iberia account, and then come back. We have one last tutorial for you, and that's how to use your British Airways points to fly in Qatar Airways Q Suites, which is often ranked as the top business class product in the world. If you enjoy these step-by-step tutorials, but you're having trouble finding the flight availability when you search on your own, we can prepare personalized step-by-step video guides for how to find and book the award travel that you want through the GeoBreeze Travel Patreon. Each month, we also have group coaching where you can ask me any questions that you have about earning more points, redeeming points, or credit cards. Like questions about the stuff that I can't really talk about on Instagram or YouTube. You can sign up by going to patreon.com/geobreezetravel or by clicking on the link in the description box. Alternatively, if you're a business owner or individual who spends more than $100,000 a year, we would love to chat with you about our points portfolio management offer, where we can show you how to get some really incredible luxury flights and hotels with the amount of points that you can earn with that level of spend. You can book a free intro call with us to learn more at geobreezetravel.com/intro call. And now, here's how to fly on Q Suites using 70,000 British Airways points. All right, let's talk about how to book Qatar Q Suites using British Airways Avios. So once again, we're gonna start with AmericanAirlines.com because their flexible award calendar makes it much easier to find these types of tickets. So let's go ahead and just search one-way, redeem miles, and let's do West Coast. Let's search from San Francisco over to Doha, one person for now, and then let's search for mid-March. Go ahead and click search. And so the best way to find business class with Qatar Airways on partner airlines is going to be to click calendar, filter this to business or first class, and then look for places where it has 70,000 miles plus low taxes and fees. There is actually a cheaper award availability here. For example, it's only 55,000 miles here. But this would be on an American Airlines operated flight rather than the Qatar operated Q Suites plane that we want. So while this is a really great deal, we are actually looking for something that charges just a bit more so we get that nicer plane. So you are looking for anything where it is 70,000 miles and low taxes and fees, because if it's high taxes and fees like this, then that is most likely routing through London. You don't get that nonstop Q Suites experience, and you're gonna have really high taxes and fees if you're booking through Heathrow. So that one's really high. That one looks a little bit more promising at $13. 13. Oh, this one's 7. So let's try this, 70,000 miles plus $7.65. And we do see it is operated by Qatar Airways. We have one seat left. It's a nonstop flight from San Francisco to Doha on March 16. So now let's go to BritishAirways.com and see if we can find that same partner flight. So we are searching from San Francisco, Doha, on March 16. This is going to be in business class. We do not want a stopover. Here we do see that this flight is from San Francisco to Doha, operated by Qatar Airways. It's nonstop. There is one business class seat left, and it would cost 70,000 Avios plus $103.25, which is going to be a little bit higher in taxes and fees versus the $7.65. But once again, American Airlines are just harder to earn for a lot of people versus British Airways, since with British Airways, almost any type of flexible points currency can be pooled into your British Airways account. So if you are looking to fly Qatar Airways Q Suites, but you're struggling to earn enough American Airlines miles for it, this is a way to get around that. I hope you found those tutorials useful. Viewer suggestions on future topics are always welcome, so please let me know in the comments if there are any points topics that you would like for me to make a video on. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, I think you will enjoy this video next.